Welcome back to The Silent Truth, the place where real stories come alive and hidden truths are revealed. If you enjoy stories filled with suspense, family drama, and life lessons, make sure to stay with me till the end. Today, I'll share with you a Thanksgiving I will never forget, one that started with laughter but ended in betrayal and shocking revelations. This is the story of how my millionaire son asked me about a gift I never received, and how that simple question tore open a truth I wasn't prepared for. Thanksgiving has always been a big deal in our family. Ever since my children were young, I made it my mission to gather everyone around the table, to celebrate not just the holiday but the blessings of family. The smell of roasted turkey, freshly baked pies, mashed potatoes with gravy, it all created an atmosphere of warmth and togetherness. This year felt even more special because my son, Daniel, who had become very successful in business, was coming with his wife, Emily. Daniel was my pride and joy. I raised him alone after my husband passed away when Daniel was still in high school. Life wasn't easy, but I gave him everything I could, from love to support, and he always promised me that one day he would repay me. I never wanted repayment, but he said it was his dream to give me the world. When he arrived that Thanksgiving, he looked sharp, dressed in a tailored suit, and his wife Emily followed behind, elegant in a silk dress, her diamond earrings catching the light. She smiled politely, but there was always something about her smile that never reached her eyes. I tried to ignore it, because my son loved her, and for that reason, I accepted her. The house filled with chatter, the clinking of glasses, and the aroma of food. My grandchildren ran around, laughing and playing. Everything felt perfect, until Daniel raised his glass during dinner. "Mom," he said, his voice full of warmth, "how do you like the lake house I gifted you?" For a moment, I thought I misheard him. I set down my fork, my hands trembling slightly. "What house?" I asked, confusion settling in. "The lake house," he repeated, looking at me with surprise. "The one I bought for you last month. Emily told me she handed you the keys. It was supposed to be a surprise." The entire table went silent. The only sound was the crackle of the fireplace. I felt my heart race. "Daniel, I never got any house. I never received anything." His smile faded, replaced by shock. His eyes darted to Emily, who suddenly looked pale. She set down her glass carefully, her hands shaking just enough for me to notice. "What do you mean?" Daniel asked her, his voice firm now. "I gave you the papers, the keys, everything. I told you to surprise Mom." Emily let out a nervous laugh, brushing her hair back. "Oh, darling, you must be mistaken. Maybe there was a delay in the paperwork. You know how these things can be. I didn't want to upset your mother with incomplete information." But I knew she was lying. The unease in her eyes told me everything. Daniel frowned. "No, I transferred the money. I signed the deed. The house was ready. Mom, you really didn't receive it." "No, son," I said softly, my throat tight. "I never saw any deed. No keys. Nothing." The tension at the table was unbearable. My grandchildren had stopped talking, sensing the seriousness in the air. Emily tried to smile again, but this time her face was stiff. "Daniel," she began, "maybe there's some confusion. We can talk about this later." But Daniel wasn't having it. He pushed back his chair and stood up, towering over her. "No, we will talk about this now. Where is the house, Emily?" Her face flushed red. "You don't understand," she started. "Then explain it to me," he interrupted sharply. "Where is the house I bought for my mother?" Tears welled up in her eyes, but they looked more like tears of fear than guilt. She muttered something about investments, about how she thought it would be better to put the money into something more profitable. My heart sank. I realized she had stolen it, the house, the gift my son had lovingly prepared for me. She had taken it and twisted his trust. Daniel's face hardened, his jaw tightening. "You sold it?" he asked in disbelief. She hesitated, then nodded slightly. "I thought it was for the best. Why waste money on a house when we could invest it?" "I was thinking about our future." His voice shook with rage. "Our future. That house was for my mother. She sacrificed everything for me, and this was my chance to give something back. How dare you take that away from her?" Silence fell again, heavy and suffocating. I wanted to speak, to calm him, but my own heart ached too much. Emily tried to reach for his hand, but he pulled away. "You betrayed me, Emily. And worse, you betrayed my mother." She started crying loudly, claiming she only wanted to protect their finances, but nobody at the table believed her. Daniel turned to me, his eyes filled with sorrow. "Mom, I am so sorry. I can't believe this happened." I shook my head gently. "It's not your fault, son. You tried to do something beautiful. I'm just sad that honesty was lost in the process." Emily excused herself and left the table, slamming the door behind her. The rest of the night was quiet, filled with a strange mix of pain and relief. Daniel promised me he would make things right. Days later, he filed for divorce. The truth came out. Emily had not only sold the lake house but had also been siphoning money from his accounts. Greed had consumed her, and she lost everything. Daniel bought another lake house, this time making sure I received the keys myself. He drove me there one morning, and as we walked inside, he hugged me tightly. "This is yours, Mom. No one can take this away again." Tears rolled down my cheeks, not because of the house itself, but because of the love my son had for me. Despite everything, the bond between us remained unbroken. That Thanksgiving changed my life. It showed me that even in the darkest moments, truth finds a way to shine. It reminded me that greed destroys, but love endures. So if you're listening to this story today, remember this: always guard your heart against deceit, but never lose faith in the ones who truly love you. Thank you for listening to The Silent Truth. If this story touched you, stay with us for more real stories that reveal the hidden sides of life.